So, I got up to Sunday lunch and we decided that we were going to go into town. Now the nearest town along from here is called Alnwick, but it's actually spelt Alnwick because it's derived from wick, meaning torch, on the River Aln. So we went there and to a pub. You know, it was a good Sunday lunch, but I felt that it was also a bit sort of claustrophobic, really. It wouldn't be a favourite of mine, but it was not bad for the Sunday lunch we had. And then once we got back, I went for another walk along the seafront to find hermit crabs, and this time I didn't have my camera with me, but I picked up a larger shell, empty shell, snail shell, and dropped it in one of the rock pools. There wasn't many rock pools around because it was quite like sort of high tide and all the rock pools disappear under the waves, but there was one or two there, and of course there were one or two sand crabs and hermit crabs as well, and they were all made beeline for this new empty larger shell, you see, which was interesting because they have a habit of getting out and trying out this new shell. And I came back and our tea was a buffet, basically for, you know, sort of Scotch eggs and cocktail sausages and that sort of stuff. In the evenings we had been, after the kiddies had gone to bed, they started by having their tea and then took it in turns to have their baths, and then it was time for them to go to bed. And between that and, you know, the next dream feed or whatever, at about 11 o'clock at night, we had our tea, so our tea was usually around 8 o'clock-ish, and then we would spend the next 2 hours playing cards or Uno or whatever. So we did that at least 2 nights. Then it was Monday, and Monday was going to be the worst day weather-wise. So my sisters decided that they were going to take their babies swimming at a local pool in Alnwick, which they did. Whereas my parents, Nan and me, decided that we were going to do the first of several castles, and that was the main Alnwick Castle and its gardens. I have to say, it was extremely expensive, and, you know, the castle I enjoyed more than the gardens. The gardens were very good, but not so good in the rain, and not so good at this time of year. I mean, what's the point in looking at a rose garden in the fall, you know, or an ornamental garden after all the ornamental flowers have died? So, poor planning on our half, really, I suppose. But you can see the videos that I did for that are going to be online shortly. And then I did Alnwick Castle. Now, the grounds, which are the gardens, are privately owned, and they costed about £5 million to create, and they were done by the nobility that lives in the castle, which is the Duchess of Northumberland, and she also allows people to go into the castle to have a look. The castle is huge, absolutely huge, reasonably imposing from outside, along the river, but not the exciting thing about the castle is the opulent interior. The staterooms were open, so we could have a look around them, and you're talking about marble staircases and luxurious carpets on the floor. It's never been a royal residence, but it looked like one, so And the castle grounds were huge as well. There was at least 2 courtyards, a full wall, several museums. We did the whole lot. We spent the whole sort of day there having lunch in one of the little cafeterias. I went back to the beach when we got home, and then it was my nan who cooked us a pork tea in her slow cooker, which she bought all the way down here. You know, this place does have good features like, for example, a dishwasher, a washing machine, a tumble dryer, that sort of thing, and a huge oven. But there we are. And then we ended the night with Uno once again.